So hello guys and welcome to New Wave Invitationals. My name is Daks and we are going to be going into Memecord versus Cakes in just a bit. Welcome everyone. It is another fine day here in the New Wave Invitational community and it's another day to get into the action. So quick little FYI at the very start of our broadcast. Well, we are only going to have one match today as due to unforeseen consequences as well as appointments there. We do want to see Washed Up Homies and Overrex face off. We will get that tomorrow instead. And we'll talk about a tomorrow schedule, which is surprising because honestly that's a Wednesday later on into the broadcast. But we are going to be getting into Memecord versus Cakes in just a bit. In the meantime, though, it seems like things are just setting on up. Memecord is looking to get ready to go, so long as they are trying to be getting online. We are gonna give them a little bit of that reprieve, so no need to rush, no need to really be too hasty in that instance. But at the same time, you see that black screen down below on me. Well, someone needs to wake up, and we are just waiting on for a second guy to get on to the broadcast station as well. But for now, it is a good morning, good evening. It is a good evening here on Tuesday. It is May 5 and it is our first broadcast here in the New Wave Invitationals of this month. So are you guys excited and ready to go for Memecord versus Cakes? I am, and honestly, let's look at those rosters coming in to this match. So here we do have Narborough, Somi, Wakan, Akashi, Eman, and Sweetfry23 gonna be playing for Memecord side today. And due to weight-based ban system, Calamitous is gonna be the one ban out for this matchup. Saito gonna be waiting at the wings as well, ready to go for the bench roll into this one. But keep an eye out on Somi. He is going to be playing an off-tack role this time. Not going to be playing his usual support as well. Such a very interesting predicament here for Memecord to begin with. On the other side of the coin though, it's Roxalon, Stereo, Shiver, Blackbeard, X-Raydles, and Axid. So funny thing actually, it's Red Rose who didn't show up on line for them. So Stereo is the one hopping on in on that slot. Axid going to be going over to that support role instead. So honestly for both sides, there's just a lot of flexes due to different kind of conditions. And well, that's how it happens sometime. Anyway, though, in terms of our standings instead, here we go already. Wamanagi 2.0 all the way in the lead. But seems like one of our teams here and now in this broadcast, in this matchup, Cakes up in third with a 1-0 standing. In the meantime, Memecord is still looking for redemption. They have been basically the ones sandbagging all throughout our invitationals so far. And well, they do need these victories to come on back to the standings after their initial victory against Team Overwide. Watch Uber server active middle, heading that pack there in the mid range. Overbex and Overwine at the tail end, really trying to build themselves up into the New Wave Invitationals. But anyway, guys, we are going to be looking to get Memecord into the lobby, and we will be getting our sweet little break on. So in the meantime, you are tuned in to New Wave Invitationals. Hopefully everything is set up and ready to go in just a bit on the side of the players, and of course here on our side as well. We'll see you guys very soon. This is going to be Memecord versus Cakes. Stay tuned and stay on for this upcoming matchup. So hello guys, welcome back, and we are able to get Mr. Billy here for our broadcast yet again. And Memecord versus Cakes, Billy, are you ready for this one? It's gonna be a very interesting matchup, and I really can't wait to see what's in store for us. But first things first, how are you, Mr. Billy? How you doing? How you feeling? Immediately yoink to the casting table.
You know, I was mid searching for my comp because I still haven't done my placements, but this is obviously more important. So yeah, I'm really excited to see this game because I hope to see a continuation of the great game that was recasted last week. I hope that Meme Cord can give put up a good fight against Cake.
Yeah,
What's the name again?
cake with S. Cakes.
Cakes,
There are
Team
many
Cakes.
cakes. There's not just one cake. You got your black forest, you got your chocolate mousse, you got your cookies and cream, that kind of thing. And well, Team Cakes and Team Meme Cord. The first thing to say about these two teams are, well, they are at least on the positive side from last week. Cakes with a very impressive debut against Uba Server with that 4-0. Meme Cord in the meantime finally taking a match win against Overwide 3-1. And honestly, well, you can say that for Team Cakes, they're looking very impressive so far. For Memecord, it seems very shaky. What do you think between these two teams? What do you think actually in terms of their performance so far, the New Wave Invitationals? What's up? What's going on into this upcoming matchup?
Well, Mimco is actually, improving because their last game was actually pretty good. They got their first win, and they're starting to get a feel of each other, playing well together, synergizing well with their, usage of heroes. While Team Cakes, on the other hand, you know, they've been doing great. They've used their ultimates right, except for the five ults for no reason. Other than that, these are two really solid teams. One is on the rise, and one, had a great first match.
Yeah. Were they the one who used the 5 votes? Wasn't that Watch the Homies versus Watch back when? Anyway,
I forgot.
I for it's
I
all a
forgot.
blur to you. Is it all a blur to you, Mr. Billy?
Yes.
But yeah, that last weekend, the last week's matches actually were extremely hype. Honestly, it was a very fun one between Ube and Cakes, but then it turned into such a very interesting affair between Washed Up Homies as well as Watch. So it can really feel a blur sometimes as we are in a new month, Mr. Billy. We are gonna get the matchups we haven't as of yet, which is gonna be very interesting. Are there any matchups that you're actually interested to see coming into this month that we might not have gotten last month instead?
Well, with the ban system though, I'd like to see the Cakes actually go up against the rain. So far the team with no losses yet, because I think if they actually do well against Mimco, I think that they might actually do well also against Wamanagi.
Yeah,
Because
through
honestly,
Wamanagi.
the stack of meme guard is very similar. Wherein, like if they play Calamitous is banned, and if the Wamanagi is to play now, I'm pretty sure like Timora would be banned.
Yeah, it's probably something gonna be like that to really see what the strength of Wamanagi is, trying to even up the odds. But again, quick little refresher of our starting rosters, ladies and gentlemen. We got Narbral, Somi, Woken, Kashi, Evans, Sweetfry 23 on the side of Meme Court, and on the side of Cakes, Trosic, Lanonda, Stereo, Shiver, Blackbeard, X Fatalist, as well as Alexseed. Subs are down below as well as bands noted down. And the first thing to notice here from Meme Court as well as Cakes is both sides are playing a little bit of the flex on the off tank. It's Somi coming on in for off tank, and it's Stereo coming on in for off tank as well.
Mm, I I'm very surprised though that Somi is the one playing off tank. I thought it would be Sweetfry, because I know like Sweetfry is more used to the off tank role compared to Somi. So if they're making Sweetfry play support, I think we might see a Brig, possibly, while Eman playing like either an Ana or a Lucio or a Moira.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
yeah,
That's true.
very
I,
surprising to see Somi in that off tank role for me.
Well, for me, if I remember correctly, he does play a mean Zarya, and he does love to play that diva as well. But it's mostly on the casual setting when he does need to fill for the rest of his team. But Sweet Fry has shown that he can play that off tank as well, and especially Wakid can show that he can play that off tank. But right now, he is on DPS duty as Mr. Calamitous is gone from the game. And Wakid on DPS, that's something that isn't actually very surprising to you, Mr. Billy. And why is that so?
Yes, because if I recall correctly, he did very well in the Mr. Walker did very well in the tournament that Dax held, the one where it's the 1v1, one wherein players were to go up against each other 1v1 in the ladder, and he actually placed third or second, I think. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to wait for Dax to come back. So yeah, I think he'll do well, and you know his hero pool is very big, to say the least. Yeah, wait. Oh yeah, Dax. I remember he played in that 1v1 tournament that you held before.
Mm-hmm.
It was, and I know he placed like third or second.
Oh
I
yeah, that was
forgot.
a long time back, and I think that was the
Yeah,
first time I ever saw Wakid. Actually, he did
yeah, that was his
impress
first. That
many.
was his first. His debut
Oh,
as
he
a
started
DPS.
so.
No, as a DPS. As a DPS.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. You do need to learn a little bit of that DPS when you are going to be playing on that 1v1. And the first thing to note, guys, into this matchup will be this stat sheet that Mr. Reaver has built. So it's Narborough and Somi on that tank role. We do still have Red Rose, but yes, this is a last minute substitution. But the big one here to matchup has to be Narborough versus Roxy. Narborough having a better stat line all throughout. Has
They
gotten more
have
sample
similar hero
size
pools
though.
though.
Yeah, they have similar hero pools, and honestly, it's pretty much the same ballpark. 16.7 to almost 15, 6.678 to 5.2 in terms of damage. So it really is Narvel having a slight edge, but it might actually owe to the fact that Narvel does have a bigger sample size over that matches. Cakes in the meantime only having that single match to go based our stats on. And it is going to be a pretty interesting matchup in the main tank role. In the meantime, Somi flexing over to that off tank. Well, he does have some really good stats on the healing department as a support. So we'll see most of the stats really improve into this game, to say the least. But hey, it seems like we are getting ready to go for our matchup, and we are going to be looking to get into our first map, and this is going to be Lijiang Tower, Mr. Billy. That's the control map of choice that we have gotten today. And what do you think about Lijiang? Is it going to be an advantage for one of these two teams, or is it going to be pretty much even ground coming into this match?
It all depends honestly, because because there are always like default heroes that are usually picked per map of Lijiang. It's like you see Garden, you usually see like the Pharmacy comp as well as Dive. And in Garden, you usually see the Symmetra and the Death Ball comp, wherein you see a Ryan, Zarya, and Lucio to boot. And in
Yeah,
Control Center is the most flexible in terms of comps, because pretty much anything can be run here. A Pharah can
everything.
be run here, but it's rare to see. You can run a Junkrat, a Doomfist, a Symmetra. This is the most flexible map out of the three, being Control Center.
It's interesting. I would honestly say that Night Market is more flexible than Control Center. Because the Control Center, it's true that he can run many different comps, especially something like even the Far Surprise if you play the South Side. But it is a very tight map, and it does pretty much lean into CQC. So I guess it does make sense what you're trying to say, that you can really run a lot of different things that you won't be able to normally run because of the nature of Control Center. Well, it does lean into that brawl kind of comp to
Double
begin with.
Doomfist.
Double Doomfist going to be into our matchup as it's Memecord versus Cakes moving into Lijiang Tower. Control Center to start things off. Narpo going to be out in front. Big shout out to Fleet Kura here at 23. Happy birthday to you, man, if it is your birthday. But it's Memecord now. Looking to play into the staircase. Walking right now with the punch on. And Stereo going to get that double ad. Ryan Zarya versus Ryan Zarya. A pretty classical matchup in Control Center, Mr. Billy, as Memecord looking to take this point first.
The team codes are actually mirrored, except for the Akashi playing Genji and Blackbeard playing Reaper. But other than that, everyone else is pretty much playing the same heroes.
Yeah, this Genji
So it's
trying
all
to get some
about
value.
the
Mr. Billy.
outplays.
And it's really so difficult. The staying power, the Reaper versus Genji, what is really the biggest deal breaker right now for the Genji compared to the strength of the Reaper? What allowed Team Case to actually get that point first?
Playing Genji honestly in this meta or in this patch is like all about the blade, because honestly Genji will not have any value other than getting picks on low HP targets, but that's hard to do when you see a Moira and a Lucio wolf, because both of them pretty much top up the whole team at all times unless there's an animate. But yeah, oh, the blade.
Memecord going to grab Graviton Surge. They do get the speed boost on, and that was a pretty strong trade of Reinhardt Shatters between Narbrawl and Roxy Lalonde there, and that's exactly what we were talking about earlier on. The main tank matchup going to be very, very close. A really good stun there from Roxy, but Narbrawl able to just make sure everyone survived except one. Got the stun on back, so we now with the Graviton Surge instead, and Memecord looking to take things in their own hands. Graviton Surge don't hear from Stereo. Sandire in response, Evan keeping everyone alive with the beats, and here comes the blade as well. Counter veto for X-Fatalist. Memecord and Cake's pretty in sync in terms of their old timings, but it's time for Blackbeard to have that Death Blossom in hand. He can go to the point with the Spinneroonie. Goes for a shot right now. Roxy Lalonde does. Never go with a punch in behind. Beat the strike here from Walkhead. It's absolute chaos into the back line. Here comes the Death Blossom. And oh, look at that. Sweet Fry able to get on the way with the Coalescence. That speed boost helping him out just a little bit more. Memecord right now with the advantage, and they will be able to hold.
That's very dangerous of Blackbeard to use the Death Blossom in the middle of the team with no one to back him up there. It would be good if like half the team was half HP, but no, it was up the Moira and the Lucia. They were all fully we're all fully topped up, and you know no one else was there, so they were easy to focus on Blackbeard there.
Kudos to Alexi trying to do a good job in a starting roster role. But hey, Blackbeard right now playing the Echo instead, and Cash is still on that Genji. And honestly, it seems like they might be looking to mirror some blade action. But Blackbeard with focusing beer, it is a 1-for-1 trade so far. Oh my god, Narbrawl gets blown up by those sticky bombs, and already the duplicate is ready to go here for Blackbeard. Good value with the right clicks.
So fast.
And it is going to be focusing beam getting to clean up again. Duplicates completely on point. And Mr. Billy, were you able to see Overwatch League this week? We did see the Echo debut to a really good amount of success.
Yeah, honestly, the way they play it, just like they play it like Tracer, but more safe, because you know she doesn't have the recall. But when you see Echoes get their duplicate, you're always gonna see like 1 or 2 ultimates popped up.
But that's team kill with the Echo getting that ultimate pop. Blackbeard turning into the Genji, grabbing the Surge into the Blade. Best way to go about things. And it's very interesting for Team Cake. Sometimes I've seen that you do want to stay on the Echo form. And for Blackbeard right now, since his opponent's playing the Genji, he only wants to turn into the Genji to get that Dragon Blade on. For more often than not, focusing beam a lot more potent, but hey, here we go already with the blade. X-Fatalist trying to go for Sandfire, but it gets cancelled out by Walkhead, and a good dynamic punch from the DPS line. 1-2, they go to the point, and a Kashi and Walkhead mopping the floor against the opposition again. That is just so highly unfortunate for Cake. Seems like they did have a little bit of latency issues there, but now they have the Shatter, they have the Major Strike. Memecord going for the choke here, Billy. Is this right call? As Roxy gonna go for the stun, it only gets into the back line. Walkhead to sweep right through the floor. Narbrawl going to the floor, and it's a Meter Strike now into the backline. Absolute chaos as Blackbeard goes in behind again with the flank. But Walkhead in close quarters can give chase. Sticky bombs right now, forcing the Doomfist back. It's so awkward here to see a Doomfist, a Mr. Punch, but when it does connect, it's an absolute theme of beauty. Alexi now gonna go on down. Shatter connecting onto Roxy. This is gonna be Narbrawl hammering on away. Good discipline, not going for the charge whatsoever, keeping the lines together, and this is looking to be Memecord's point to win. The Zarya as well as the Echo forced on back. We have a Tracer right now from Shiver, but it is going to be a cold front here to this one. Does get the contest. Victory there for Memecord on the first round on this first map.
So yeah, Memecord was able to turn that around because for the last two fights, they were basically playing a 5v6 because I was watching Blackbeard's point of view, and during the first, when Memecord was trying to retake the point, Blackbeard went on an extremely far flank, and by the time he got to the point, his entire team was dead. And on the last fight, it kind of took him a while before he could actually join the rest of his team because he was stuck at the back lines while the entire Memecore just pushed into the choke.
Memecord with a very decisive push and a lot of discipline within their team. It seems like after their first match win, we are seeing a pretty different Memecord setup, and at the very least, it isn't just memes and dreams here for them. They are showing a lot of gusto, and it is time for Memecord to play their signature Mercy. It is gonna be Sweet Fry on that supporting role. In the meantime, an Ana here for Emma and Bucket getting that far Mercy composition here for the DPS line, and Team Memecord looking very stable with their comp, but they still need deal with that upcoming Echo on the other side. Fire Grenade already connecting on Roxy Lonti can go down. Very quickly done here by Memecord. They cascade on the opposition. It's a wake-up call here from Memecord from the last week's match, and they are looking to be all ready to go with that team kill.
So yeah, that's the big thing, because running an Lucio Moira is, against an Ana is very dangerous, because once you get that Ana grenaded, the whole team gets Ana grenaded. There's nothing that can stop the damage from going in.
Absolutely. Just the Ana grenade is such a big deal. Just the buy grenade really making such a big difference. And speaking of difference, it's now Walk just making it rain from above yet again. Got the catch on the Shiver earlier on. Good prediction there from the Pharah. And Memecord trying to play the chokehold, but they do lose Narval, so it's going to be a little dangerous. The Kree and the Pharah. Pretty strong composition here and now. And I feel like Team Cake sticking on a Lucio Moira comp that isn't really going to help them, because they're playing the Echo, they're playing the Widowmaker. This is when you want to play something like the Mercy. Can't go for the pocket on the Echo with a roster like this. You can go for the Ana as well. Gonna be very helpful. The Brigitte can actually be used up to go for those prayer packs. And Team Cakes not really being too optimal with the support line, but they now have to deal with that Rocket Barrage. Waked holding on to the corner. Narbral gonna get that takedown onto Roxy. Memecord looking really strong here on Lijiang Tower.
Walk's playing his corners very well. He was always making sure that the Widow does not get a free shot. He's making sure that he goes inside whenever he sees the Widow peek. He wants to make the Widow work for his picks. And he's doing it very well.
Oh my god, the whole lessons here from Alex C. Grab the Surge coming online, and Blackbeard with the McCree getting the push on as well. Sandberry now is available, and Team Cakes gets back to the point and get things done.
I think Memecord's happy with that engage, because they had to commit 3 ultimates just so they could take the point. They got the Zarya grab, they got the Echo duplicate and the Moira ult. And now they're pretty much working with 3 ultimates coming into the fight, especially with grab. The grab, the way they use the grab is gonna be a big key point here.
Grab, Sandbagger, as well as that Shatter, gets blocked up by Narbral, and walking with that push, gets online, gets in the way. 1-for-1 trade so far. Team Memecord with a lot of potency into this one. Sticky bombs though, again for Blackbeard, and every single time he gets a really good burst, it just is pretty much the demise of that poor main back. Narbral trying to put that shield up, but it doesn't matter, it's in his back instead. But Memecord getting back to the points, Emma ready with the Bio Grenade, getting in the way of the opposition. Shatter is available. Here comes the push right here, right now. Barrage as well as the Nana Boost, both online here for Team Memecord, and they are looking to get in the way. Rock Barrage here making it rain yet again, and that Lucio of X-Fatalist looking to survive. Contest already onto the objective. Good tracking there. Does get the catch. And Team Memecord overtime taking on down. They go for the Mercy first. Good punish onto the Resurrection. That should be enough here. And now Stereo gonna be getting in the way. And he's close to grabbing the Surge, but he has no life left. And as overtime ticks on down, it is a Memecord with a 2-0 victory here on Lijiang Tower to take our first map.
Yeah, this second map was pretty much Memecord's map. They couldn't do, they pretty much got them, destroyed their comp, because I like the Memecord's comp more. It's more balanced, because you got the McCree that can help with the low ground and the high ground. So the high ground's pretty much the far Mercy show.
Dude,
I don't think Echo, in my opinion, I don't think Echo and Widow should be played together, because I think if you're gonna run Ryan Zarya and Lucio Moira, you need to do, your DPS need to be with the team rather than it being a long range DPS and a flanker.
That makes sense. Honestly, you want to play a little bit of the brawl, and I feel like maybe dive that works out a little better, because you can actually jump onto where the Echo is, make some space for the Widowmaker there. But at the same time, it seems like for Team Cakes, it was all about trying to counter the opposition. They saw farmers. He was like, let's play Window. They can play Echo as well, be very, very quick. But at the same time, well, the McCree as well as the Pharah just able to dominate so much of the map, take so much map control. And there, Night Market, we saw a very, very different side of Memecord. It was all about Brawl on Control Center, but on Night Market, they were able to play their comfort picks, play something that they do like to enjoy having at Mercy in the roster. It's pretty much their bread and butter. And they did such a good job, honestly, here, especially without their star DPS Calamitous.
Yeah. Walk is doing very well on that flex DPS role because we all know that Akashi will always pick either Genji or Genji, Pharah, or McCree. But I like this walk flexing, letting Akashi play his comfort picks and him adjusting to what his team needs, which is pretty good for a flex player.
That's true, that's true. And let me just quickly recap our New Wave Invitationals rule sheet for many, many, many of our new viewers here. So this is a PH only tournaments series season, honestly. It turned into a season, right? It's kind of a league, isn't it, Mr. Billy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overwatch
There you
League
go.
Pinas.
No, 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 no. Don't say that. That's how we get. That's how we get the big boot there. But team average is only diamond and under. By that we mean sure there can be masters players, sure can be a grandmaster player, but overall as a team, your team average must be diamond and under. Because this is the new wave invitationals. We're trying to bring in a new wave of Filipinos that really trying to play into the competitive scene. And our format is the old school Overwatch League format. We got 4 maps per match. We play control, hybrid, escort, and assault no matter what. And if a fifth map is needed to really figure out who takes the match win, we'll go back to control. Matchups are based on their availability, and we do have something called the weight-based ban system. So wherein, if we do have a team with a pretty significant SR advantage over the other side, well, we are going to ban the highest members of that squad, or the highest performing members of that squad, based on our stat sheets. If you guys need a little bit of a refresher on the stats of the New Wave Invitationals, you can just type in !New Wave down below to get all the links that you need. And well, it is looking really good so far. We have Calamitous gone from the game, and well, Memecord is looking very, very potent even without him against Cakes. At the end of the season though, we'll be hosting a tournament, and probably gonna be a really, really fun way to see how our seeds do line up in a more standard format, in a more like, hey, anyone can play kind of format, and really try to dominate one another in terms of that roster sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So coming into the next year, I wonder what I think Hollywood would be a good map for the Team Cakes, because
You're very
I think
sneaky,
from their
huh?
comps, huh?
You're very sneaky, Mr. Billy, huh? I didn't even
What do
ask
you
you.
mean?
So yeah, do you think Hollywood is gonna be a good map? Why do you think
Actually, it's good
so?
maps for both teams because if they really want to play the Widow, second point of Hollywood is the by far the best Widow map. The Widow map for the between the 3 points. If they really want to push with that Widow, Echo 2, we can fly through the back lines, get the high ground quite easily, and you know let their team just snowball through second point. But of course, that's if they first point is taken.
That's true, that's true. It really does depend on that snowballing nature. And on the first point, sure, you can play something like the FAR to get the peaks on, but when you play that in the second point and your opponent whips out the hit scan, well, it is a tough time, especially as there's an old Western coming on in. But we are gonna get confirmation that yes, Hollywood is our map. Apparently, Mr. Billy here is an absolute sage. How'd you guess it, man? How'd you guess it?
For playing this game for so long, I just know,
Ah,
dude.
that's so true. That's so true. If you guys don't know a background for Mr. Billy, well, he was the DPS of Team Philippines last year in the Overwatch World Cup, and he does play a pretty mean Vara. It was a good way to actually win out on Busan because of his efforts. And there you go. We have Lijiang Tower already taken by Memecord, but at the same time, Hollywood gonna be next on the list. We still got an escort and assault map to go, and we are barely halfway there. So, Mr. Billy, besides seeing that hit scan, what do you really think is it's gonna be boiling down to on the DPS line? What kind of picks will we expect besides hit scan, besides the Pharaoh and the Echo? Do you expect something else? We've seen a lot of Ash being played in the Overwatch League. We've seen a lot of Torbjorn actually get whipped out,
I'd like
especially
to see
on
a
a map
Torb
like
played
this.
here.
Mm-hmm.
First point is pretty much the only point where you play Torb.
Yes, sir.
Because Torb on
Classic.
the first point is extremely powerful if the team can play around it. That's the thing. If you play Torb, he can be either the thing that loses first point or actually wins first point. It's you just have to play around the Torb, like uh know where to put the turrets, where to engage, because pretty much when you have a Torb in your team, you don't want to fight into the enemy team. You want them to come to you so that the turret can get free damage and Torb can just shotgun everything. Because
It's
Torb's
very true.
hitbox is pretty much all head.
It's very easy because the center of mass is where you usually aim, and then that's where his head is. But speaking of center, and speaking of our masses, well, this is going to be our stats between our two DPS line. The first thing to notice is Bucket is very, very impressive with an average of 25 eliminations coming in with a stat sheet from his off-tank role. This is his first time on DPS, and he seems like he's primed to be as lethal as possible. Akashi with a pretty impressive move as well, 21 eliminations per 10 minutes, but he does have a pretty significant 7k damage average. On the other side of the coin, though, Cakes was able to really show on up with the DPS line, especially Blackbeard, 10k on that average damage. Absolutely ridiculous. But for Cakes, they have a really balanced DPS line. They both have a similar weight to pull. They both have similar averages in terms of Elix at 26. And well, it goes to show that in this matchup, it has to be Memecord stepping on up, but on Control Center as well as Night Market, they did so to such a good degree.
Yeah, I think if the Cakes is trying to keep countering the meme cord hero picks, I think if they really want to counter, I think a Diva instead of a Zarya would be better, because the Diva can just shut down pretty much any hit scan, and even the Pharah Mercy for that matter, because Diva is very powerful. That matrix is just completely broken if put in the right hands.
Yeah. There's no damage that it can block, no amount whatsoever, unless it is that beam variant, that's for sure. But it seems like it is time to get ready and get into this one. Sides have been swapped, and let's get into Hollywood. The stars do shine, and it's kicking on that defense first. Memecord gonna be on the attack. Confidence here from Memecord after a really strong Lijiang Tower game. They're the ones one map ahead, and they're looking to stay strong into this matchup.
Yeah, I really want to see that Torb be played here. I'm really hoping that the Torb gets played. I want to see that Swedish engineering be played in this map.
It's Swedish and you like the Torbjorn, don't you? You like seeing those builders, but you gotta build something else up here, Mr. Billy, because it is Team Cakes playing. I believe they played this before.
Is this a Bastion?
I think they played the Bastion before, if I remember correctly from our last week.
I know that they like playing Symmetra.
Oh, Symmetra, some Symmetra fans here and there, and they are gonna be looking to play that teleporter placement to such a good degree. Double barrier here for Team Cakes with the Mercy and the Baptiste. Do you think the Mercy and the Baptiste is gonna be enough?
Yeah, this is pretty much a standard Bastion comp, wherein the only thing that you could switch here is the Mercy for an Ana, possibly, but a Mercy is good too for that safe res. The thing is though, they don't have anything for the anti-heal. But what I'd like to see was to see the teleport to be put in both high ground so that they have double high ground control.
Look at this, Memecord already initiating I-field set up quickly by X-Fatalist, and Narbro will go down to the hand of the Bastion. Memecord trying to go for the bounce, and seems like a pause in an order. Someone DC'd.
Someone DC'd.
Yeah, some DCs. What happened there?
Fatalist.
Fatalist.
Oh, the BAP.
Oh, the BAP. At least he got that I-field in time, but oh no, it's
That's a clutch I-field.
It's Free Fry here from Team Memecord. Seems like there was a lot less sustained there, and that really hurt them because it seems like they had a really good initiation to get a jump on. They forced the I-field early, but since they didn't have Sweet Fry on the board, well, that's not enough sustain, and they got punished for it. Highly unfortunate because Team Cakes is playing very ambitious with this. They are so easily punishable into this one.
I'm surprised they held here.
This is a 5v6.
This is not
I
the
feel it's a
place you see
5v6.
a Bastion comp.
And I like how they're just all being diplomatic about it. Hey guys, please don't shoot me. We'll trade this guy being shot, not being shot, and for this guy not being shot. As looking at the pause screen real quick, it's Akashi in a very bad situation. In front of BAP, in front of Bast, in front of the Orisa. Holt is there as well. But in behind...
Somebody's gonna get pulled.
Look at this. I mean, you can't see it, but in behind Mr. Billy, look, that it is... Mr. Wucked catching out X-Fatalist. It is very, very tight and it is very, very close right now in a matchup like this.
Oh wait,
So
Oily's in their spec. Yeah,
that's
Oily's
okay.
in
I
their
fixed
spec.
it. I fixed it. It's fixed. No worries. No worries. Don't worry about that, guys. But yeah, for Team Cakes, they are gonna be trying to defend. They will probably lose this Batiste, but the lucky thing right now is the fact that they do have the teleporter to try and get them out of harm's way, but they need to reposition, and with the hold already being set up by the Orisa, it's gonna be a big deal. So what do you think about Team Cakes and their initial spot? Like, what do you think about this? It is
It's
very,
pretty
very
ballsy.
interesting. Yeah.
It's pretty ballsy. I'm not gonna lie. Like they're very fortunate that Fatalist got that immortality right away, and Memecord could not focus it down fast enough for Narbral to live through the Bastion damage. But yeah, it's not a very typical Bastion hold, to say the least. I think it should be on that high ground behind them, and the teleporter on the other high ground in the on top of the small health pack, because that's pretty much standard Bastion hold spots.
Yeah, I'm
Because you
very
can just keep
surprised, man.
teleporting in between the two high grounds when you need to.
Exactly.
And with
Exactly what
the
I expected.
especially with the Orisa and the Orisa shield being so low and the cooldown being so high, even the what's his name, Mr. Feet, was what's his name again?
Oh, oh, oh. Hindi
The
kita
one
halata.
stereo.
Stereo. Mr. Feet. Why would you? Is that what you call Sigma? Is that the new call out for Sigma?
Yes, the
Mr. Feet,
Mr.
Mr.
Feet.
Feet, Mr. Feet 1. Mr. Feet's gonna go for the flux. Is that how it is? Is that the new call? Is that
Because
something?
they made his
No.
feet shown for the people with the feet fetish.
Oh my god, dude. So let me just go down this real quick. I picked the Talon skin for Sigma just because I
He
didn't
has
want to
boots.
see his feet. Yeah, it's like, oh, put some
Yeah,
shoes
same,
on, man.
same.
Let's put some boots with the fur right there and just really fill that one up all the way. But hey, the Orisa Sigma has been neutered to this day and age because of that barrier HP. And for Memecord, well, it seems like they really did have a pretty good dive to initiate, and they are running a standard dive actually with the Genji and the Tracer as we are waiting for Street Fighter to reconnect, which is heartbreaking,
Yeah,
honestly.
he's online now.
Okay, we're good. We're good then. So we don't need to stall for time too long anymore. But it's what I just want to say. Like, I do wish that we don't have any unfortunate circumstances here in the New Wave Invitationals. This is, as we say, it's a casual yet competitive environment. We want to give these up and coming teams a reason to compete, but at the same time, don't need to stress about it. And these things like this, technical issues, are really, really painful to suffer as a player, as a spectator.
Wait,
Just it's
can I make a
heartbreaking.
prediction?
Yes, sir. What's up?
Ahashi will die to the Symmetro beam because right now he's in deflect. He's stuck on deflect, and Cakes knows this, so the Symmetro beam will kill him. Walk will
Mhm.
probably pick Fatalist and he'll get rezzed, but that's pretty much it.
That's fair.
It's Cakes' fight to win,
It
unless
is.
they fuck up to an extraordinary degree, but I highly
Uh,
doubt it.
I do think that yes, Meme Court has the advantage as we are gonna be getting
Not this
back
team fight though.
into
Not
the
this team fight.
game. They got the advantage in terms of a spawn, that's for sure, which is gonna be a pretty big deal even after this
Yep.
one. But that teleport is gonna be there. Walker's gonna get that frag. Shiver is
Yeah,
killing
res.
everyone with the Symmetra beam. And for Team Cakes, it's time to back on out. But for Meme Court, well, at least they fought in the front like that. At least they were able to face off against Cake. Oh my god, Blackbeard! Yo, what are you doing? That is not the right
He wanted
car.
to hold by himself.
Dude, he thought he was going to be playing Pirate Ship on the defense, but he's on the wrong car at this point. But for that Team Cakes, they are going to be setting up onto the high ground, something we expected a lot more. Teleporter, though, isn't set in behind as of yet, and that is something they're going to need to the future. Somido immediately thrown out the back, and Memecord. This is them literally throwing their faces against the hardest surface whatsoever. They eventually do kill Blackbeard, but they need to keep an eye out on Alexine instead. Teleporter play is there. Resurrection now coming online. And this time Memecord cannot get the punish, but Bucket with a sticky bomb instead, connecting into that eye field as well as the TP. X-Fatal is
Very good that he got the eye field out though.
the high ground we go. Somi taking care of the Batiste. And Team Memecord looking around to get the catch on. Blackbeard right now likes to survive, but Akashi in behind as well as Walk ready to go. Blade is in hand. Memecord staying it. They feel the confidence to get the wipe. And they do so. The cascade was strong. Eventually, when you slam your head into the wall enough times, it will crack down. 1 point here from Memecord, 0 points for the wall that is Cakes right now. But they did show off a very different style on that first objective.
The key point for Memecord winning there was Walk with this pulse bomb, getting Fatalist to use his get to use his lamp very early. Because without that lamp, the Bastion is pretty much dead if they dive in.
Mercy as well as Batiste. It is going to be more or less single target healing them from the Mercy. Then the Batiste trying to go for the top up, but needs to be careful to really maximize those cooldowns. Barriers very easy to break, and in a situation with this dive, Memecord doesn't care about barriers because they're going to be jumping over them. Now Bucket in behind again, trying to go for the clip, will get stunned up by Shiver, but here comes the Blade. They are just going to go for the Naked Blade for this one. They do go for the Coalescence in behind, but Team Memecord, it is enough space that they have created, enough
Such
of
a
the flank.
commanding push.
Memecord done it again.
So yeah, I think the DPS that they switched into was fine, but I think that their tanks need to change if they want to be playing against dive. Because I don't think Orisa barrier is just gonna cut it against dive, because they'll just jump past it every single time.
I don't really think the barriers aren't really doing much against this comp to begin with, because Rockhead and Akashi are looking for flanks while the Blade is on out. Then Akashi doesn't even care. Self-destruct right now. Toss, I feel would save the game again. And Akashi trying to go for this because it doesn't happen. In behind all of this, Cake's already losing that second point. And Memecord has created all the space that they need in the world. It really is just them playing so proactively right now, looking really, really good. Somito gonna get teammate. Perfect global timing though from Narvel to really save the day there. But for Memecord right now, the spawn is just there, so they don't really need to be very, very hands-on with this. They can just go for slow fix here and there. They do lose the Tracer. They get the Deadeye on out, and eventually the defense will hold at the first part of this third point.
But I think Memecord is pretty happy that they managed to force out the ult of Orisa as well as the ult of McCree, because even the Sigma ult that they got to use, that Sigma used that when they already pushed second point, because now they're just swapping into they just swapped into the Reinhardt, and it's very good against the double hit scan.
Yeah, I love this. Reinhardt picks only for Narbrawl, allows them to stay into the front line a lot stronger. Someone does need to play payload, and well, Narbrawl's the one on it. It's gonna be dangerous without that barrier in front, but Akashi and Bucket don't really care. They are gonna be playing at the front lines. Here comes Bob already trying to be a butler here and now and be the staying power, but Shiver does get one. Bucket is fragging out like crazy, and it seems like this guy is a DPS really waiting at
He is a force to be reckoned with.
Absolutely, and he's on off tank right now for this roster, but in this match itself, well, he's on the DPS and doing so good with the flexibility. Roxy right now trying to get on the way. This is such a strong Memecord showing, and someone needs to touch that payload, and Stereo floating on with the feet ready to go. That's a pretty big feat there actually. He gets the flux on to 3, and that should be enough here for Team Cakes to hold, because Roxy is literally running everyone over.
Yeah, that last minute swap to the ball just to stall points, just so the Sigma could get that good ult, was very good for the Team Cakes. It just allows them to stop the snowball of Memecord and stabilize the team.
Mr. Feet is absolutely featured here, but hey, it is that Ryan Diva versus the Ryan Zari here. Self-destruct that toss by Somi. Will it actually catch? No, it's in behind the generator, so it does get blocked up. But Kashi right now with a Hero Blade here and now gets a cut onto Alexine. And there's 4 frags on the board for Memecord. They just need to clean up the Ash as well as the McCree, who's nowhere home actually. Team Memecord finishing that one up with style. The Blade again from Akashi, getting some really good value. And it's something to note, Akashi just going for the nose naked Dragon Blades, and it is enough to really bring things in favor of Memecord.
I like the way that they used the Reinhardt charge just so that they could get that bomb in for free. Because usually people would just hide behind the Rein shield when a Diva bomb comes, but when you see another charging Reinhardt, the reflex of another Reinhardt usually is to charge back. And because of that, they pretty much got the bomb for free, which pretty much zoned the entire Cakes team for Memecord to just pick off one after the other.
Absolutely, and I do like the swaps there from Memecord. They move from the Winston to the Reinhardt at the right point. This third point really hang a little bit of that CQC, and if they stay on the Diva, they will have the contest onto the high ground, and it's enough, especially against that double hit scan, to really make such a big difference. So really wise decisions there from Team Memecord. They have figured out a lot more of their identity over the past few weeks, and this is week 5 actually of the New Wave Invitationals. We are still going strong and going on into this one for the Philippine scene. But for Cakes right now, it's time to potentially go back to the dive, and it's Shiver and Blackbeard on pretty much their signature heroes, as we've seen
Not sure about
Blackbeard
the supports though.
on the Echo.
I'm not a fan of the Mercy pocket, probably on the Echo.
The Moira's
And
weird
then-
too.
Yeah, and the Moira too.
We'll see though how this is gonna pan out. Fatals might want to go
Because
for swap onto
if
the
Somi
Iron Man.
felt like it, he can just fully focus the Mercy and just pick her off for free. Because nothing can stop the Diva.
See how the Diva is actually going to play things out. And immediately with the Scouts, well, for Memecord, they are going to be holding close. They're playing that Mei and the Reaper, pretty much a composition that we never really expected from Memecord to begin with. But, well, Woken is really filling up those holes in this roster. But they lose Akashi first. The Reaper just staying way too long, unable to get the Reaper on out in time. And in behind,
Narbro
Roxy
went too
Londe trying to get that space on. Good zone here from the Winston. Narbro trying to fight for his life. He falls. Woken gonna go down as well. And for Team Cakes, they overrun the opposition. And I feel like for Memecord, they're trying to be something they're not. They are really antithesis of playing that Mei. They hate playing the Mei personally. And trying to play a composition like that is something that they are not aware of whatsoever. Memecord gonna be losing that point very, very quickly.
Yeah, and there's also one point to add, is like it's very hard to play Mei against a dive because they can pretty much just jump over your wall. And with the Echo being there, you can just pretty much count on Ryan's shield getting completely destroyed every single time.
So is this
Because
the reason?
the Echo shield break is very powerful.
Is this the reason that Mei will finally die?
what a
Because they
fire
add a
strike.
new hero. But what a snipe, as you mentioned. Blackbeard gonna get caught by that fire strike. And Memecord an opportunity not to get the push on. Here comes Blackbeard though, turning into the McCree. Flashbang, gonna go for that Deadeye. He will prime it instead of going for the Riddle cancel instead. And let's see if the McCree can get a little more here and now as Team Cakes getting some more frags. Here comes the blade right now from Shiver. Cakes really mopping the floor against the opposition. They pop 3 more ultimates after that duplicate. In a pretty one fight, well, they do need to be a little more careful in their ult usage.
Yeah, I think now it's the time for Memecord to just stay cool and regroup properly, and you know, wait for them to dive into them and then just pick them off one after the other. Because they're still running the Tracer.
Exactly. They need to be very, very careful. Somi almost getting picked out there. Self-destruct right now up on top, and Roxy didn't have the bubble in place, and it is gonna be the demise of the Winston Dare. Narva right now into the front lines here again. Blackbeard with the focusing beam, and really this Echo looking so unstoppable in a situation like this. Is flying on around, doing exactly what she wants. And I feel like from Memecord, they might want to swap to a normal hit scan after everything is all said and done.
Yeah, because if you, I also think that they need to do something like because the Echo has that Mercy pocket, even if we don't like it, but if you give Echo a pocket, you're just giving her way too much damage than
Shatter
than she
though.
needs.
From Narbrawl into the front lines, they go for the beat as well. And Memecord looking to clean this one up. Self-destruct from Stereo in behind, gets blocked up by the Reinhardts. And a good wake-up call here from Memecord. The resurrection now comes. Never mind, Alexid will get swatted on away. And the thing to note is Memecord did play the McCree for a while. Akashi went back to the Reaper. And it seems like for Memecord, their whole game plan right now is to play into the front line, play into the ground, play into those buildings, and just try to get away from the Echo to begin with. It's a focus onto the Winston, a focus onto the Diva, and we'll see if Memecord can hold in the face of the blade here from Shiver. Gets the cut already, Evan will go down. That Lucio will just be easily knocked down there, and that Shiver with 2. That's a pretty cold front here and now from the Genji. Cakes making an open yet again for themselves with one of their comfort picks.
Yeah, the Cakes needed that to regain their snowball feel from first point. They really needed that blade. That's a good blade there by Mr. Shiver, knowing that the Lucio did not have beat, and he instantly just went for the Lucio there.
I just want to note that R2 Genji players so far have been really good with those naked blades, and it seems like Akashi as well as Shiver not needing any kind of nano
Oh, what a
situation.
shatter though.
Narbrawl with the shatter, Death Blossom here from Akashi as well, and I feel like that's such a good counterplay there from Team Memecord. They saw Blackbeard turning into the Reinhardt, and they did need to do something about it, but the going is still tough, and they need to get even tougher. Welcome with the pulse bomb, gets eaten up by Stereo. Good defense matrix there. Load super predictable, but in the meantime, the Tracer really go for the tracking. It's absolute carnage onto the streets of Westworld here, and now the Saloon gonna be a witness to these frags. It seems like for Team Memecord, it's enough for them to get on back, even though it got a little dicey. Cakes right now getting staggered, and they have to retreat. They use the Valkyrie just to get on away, and so looking a little dicey here for Team Cakes yet again.
Yeah, I like the way that they're playing around this Reaper pick. They're waiting for the Winston to just jump in and instantly obliterate him with that Reaper. Because I think they actually want Cakes to jump them. I think that's their game plan.
Jump with the bomb as well. Onto the high ground, forcing Cakes to hide on the side, and Narbo right now squeezes in, trying to get all the way. Somin right now with a bully onto Alex Seed, but Stereo with the counter kill. Goodbye, Lucio. And this Reinhardt might be in a bad spot, but Seafry doesn't care. Pops the Coalescence right here, right now, looking to get things done. Biotic are bouncing on the round, and seems like our Divas have been making some value here to the back line, but so far, it really is all Memecord sustaining. What a peel there. Narbo at the brink of HP, surviving with those reinforcements, and now Memecord only a minute and 5 left on this defense. They are looking primed and ready to really get this 2-map lead.
And Somi's playing D.Va very well because she keeps focusing the proper targets, especially on that Mercy, because he plays Mercy himself, so he knows what makes a Mercy tick. It's like he knows where the Mercy will pass, who she'll go for, who she'll damage boost and heal. So it's doing him very well, doing him pretty good. So he can just focus down that Mercy every time. Like look, the Mercy's already almost dead.
On the high ground, Fatal is actually going going down instead. Self-destruct right now though, looking to go online, and Somi will get one. Roxy Londi, well, she's going to be going down there. Walking right now with that Tracer still tracking on. Shiver trying to get away, and this is Team Memecord in complete control. In terms of stats, look at that. Cakes having the advantage on that damage, well, but in the healing department, Memecord really saving the day in many instances. We've seen Eminence Fry get the proper amps, get the proper biotic orbs. That's Narbrol with that shatter, putting people to the floor. Half the team already getting quaked on down, and it seems like for Roxy, just has to sacrifice everyone else to get to that objective. Shiver that blade, and Memecord has to clean this one up quickly because they need to contest that Winston on the back line. Overnight ticking on down. Blackbeard already ready with that self-destruct. It's really quick to get the bomb on, and Walken will go down. In the meantime, in behind, it's still Roxy Lalonde trying to survive against three. Akashi is there, whips out the Death Blossom, and as Winston is looking to survive still with a bubble placed on properly. Blackbeard making a difference with that D.Va bomb ×2, and the Echo making such a big opening. When you see a wall in front of you, instead of slamming it the Memecord way, you just blow it up with all the explosives in the world, and Blackbeard is the demolition expert into this one. Now he saw him flying on around. Self-destruct here from Stereo in behind again, but it does get blocked up with the garbage can, and Memecord right now trying to come on back. It seems like they just stayed way too long against that Echo. They do have the coalescence though to try and keep the things back, and they are able to do so. 2 frags on the board already. Memecord with the push yet again. They try to get a focus fire onto Fatalist, but he disappears into the field battle. Eventually, Narbrol getting it that takedown. We got the stick though. Fate is in time. Shiver right now does get one as Akashi does fall, but Cake's unable to survive, and it's a sweet ecstasy here for Team Memecord with a 2-0 advantage.
The key there for the Memecord winning is that they have much better sustain compared to Cakes, because the Mercy single target healing Mercy and the Moira's healing being blocked by barriers, compared to a Lucio that can just walk behind the barriers and just heal his front line while his back line's being healed by the Moira. So it's all about the way the hero picks are being utilized by Memecord. It's benefiting them very well.
That's true, that's true. I feel like they're really understanding more and more about the game, and it's working absolute wonders for them. So kudos to Memecord, really getting another map on the board, and it's a very impressive effort from them. They have really turned it up to 11 so far here in the New Wave Invitationals, and well, really good stuff right now from Memecord. This is pretty much the potential that we have been expecting from them, and at the very least, they are really doing so well into this one.
They are proving they are not Dallas Fuel.
I still think they are, honestly. I still think they are. I still think they can do better, especially after they sandbag their initial matches. But only time will tell if they can really reach to the expectations that we have thrust on them. It's a pretty fair assessment. They are one of the highest ranking SR teams here in the Invitationals, alongside Wamanagi as well as Washed Up Homies. And seeing them fall very flat at the very start of the Invitationals did raise a lot of question marks. Not even like Dallas might be Season 1 Shanghai Dragons, but hey, they took a match and they have been able to do pretty well so far here against Team Cakes, who are putting up a good fight, sure, but are really unable to capitalize on the opportunity sometimes.
Yeah, Blackbeard's doing very well on that Echo. Like, I think that if they realize that Blackbeard didn't actually need that mercy, and they put the they put Alex Seed on maybe an Ana and just anti heal, because Memecord's support lineup, I think an Ana would have countered them very well. But even if they had that Ana pick, they'd have to get through Somi's defense matrix too. So it's all about the mind games if ever they chose to play that Ana.
That's true. That's true. And with the Ryan Diva, it is Narbaral basically being saved. It feels like Narbaral is usually a damsel in distress. Well, sure, the Reinhardt is protecting you, but you still need to protect the Reinhardt. And there's so many situations where Memecord literally swoops in just to save the day for the Ryan. Narbaral is in a very tight predicament, really, really low on HP. Eventually, the peel comes, and Memecord is able to make it work. But in the meantime, guys, we are halfway through our match, so we will take our halftime break and get into our halftime reports pretty soon. We'll get one member of one of these teams to get our mid-match interview on. And stick around, this is the New Wave Invitationals. Again, quick little reminder, but this is our only match for today. We will have a makeup day tomorrow, and we will be sharing the schedule to you later on into this broadcast. So far, so good. This is Dax and Billy signing off just a little bit. We'll be right back between Memecord and Cake, so stay tuned. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and who we got? We got Roxy Londa of Team Cakes, the team captain, and she's ready to go yet again for another interview. Hard carry on these interviews. It's like
Hell yeah!
Team Cakes is like push, push, push. Roxy, please save us. Roxy, please do something. Roxy, please talk for us. And well, we got Roxy into this one. So how you doing, Roxy, on this fine evening? And how's he doing?
I mean, it's still this game is still winnable. Not,
Yes.
but the only thing I can pretty sure is 100% winnable is this interview.
Yes, you're already acing it so far. And speaking of
Yes.
acing it, well, Team Cakes is coming into this match with a 1-0 standing. And well, you guys are down 0-2 right now, and you're looking to keep that, of course, that's perfect record going. But what does it feel facing off a team like Memecord? What does it feel into this matchup? What are really some key components that you can see that Memecord is able to outclass you guys in a bit, and where can you really improve on into these upcoming matches?
I think it's more to do with the fact that one of our teammates kind of couldn't show up for some reason, but also
Ooh.
since we had kind of a game plan that we had idea on what I want us to try out, and so that's one thing. And another is that uh, trying to figure out a comp to go against them at the moment while they were like destroying us was kind of hard to figure out. Uh, and especially since my teammates were kind of nervous, going to other specific heroes because of how good specific people are in their team.
That's true. That's true. And I think the note is you guys are so far in the stats. It's a pretty much a spitball here, but you're really keeping up on the frags. Meme Party Cake's pretty even on the damage parts, but I think the problem right now is the eliminations just aren't going your way. And you are playing something like the Echo right now on a Blackbeard, and you're putting Shiver on comfort picks that do allow him to flex on over. So what's the reasoning playing on that DPS line? Do you think your DPS line is doing enough for your team in terms of that final lethality, or could you swap it out a little more to something else? Because we see Blackbeard play the Echo to get the ultimates from the Genji, get the ultimates from the Reinhardts to a good amount of success, but went back into Echo form, looking all around in the map, it seems like Memecord having a few answers here and there, especially with that Diva. So what do you think? What's the plan coming into this one?
Oh my gosh, we're still trying to figure that out as well. But one of the reasonings why we stuck to Echo is that kind don't have any other heroes that we can play towards that we can think of that we're comfortable with. However, we're gonna think more about we're gonna a bit talk about more about it when we get into the third game anyway,
Yeah.
especially with the map that we're gonna choose.
Yeah, you guys are gonna be ones picking the map, that's for sure, and you can
Yep.
really set the tempo. So coming into these next two maps, general game plan, like we say, don't spoil anything this time. Like last time. Just what do you think are gonna be the improvements you guys need to work on for this upcoming match to try and get that reverse sweep on?
um, get our grip together and stop being so nervous. My teammates that is, and just focus on what we need to do.
Yeah,
Just
you guys have.
go back to like uh not feel too fearful or something like that. You know.
You have a lot of flashes of it, that's for sure. Like, it can really be commendable. So many good plays, so many sudden frags that happen from Team Cake. So we can really see the potential for this matchup to go all the way. But before you go, Mr. Roxy, this is one more thing that we want to ask you. Do you want to say anything to Red Rose right now?
Red,
Hello?
I counted on you, bud. We tried out our comps like the other day. We counted. Where are you? We miss you so much. Hope you're doing well. Hope that you're doing okay, even though
Yeah,
you've been offline for over 24 hours.
actually, hopefully he's okay. That's true. That's kind of worrying when someone's like
Yeah.
offline for
I
that
think I
long.
think he's with Fascinate.
Maybe with Fascinate, we were down the man for Cakes, down the man for Memecore, down the man on the casting channel. I'm glad we're all in sync for this match. But
Holy
thank you to
Trinity,
Roxy.
yeah.
The Holy Trinity indeed. Thank you to Roxy. She's the team captain here for Team Cakes and doing so well. So I'm gonna toss you back over to your channel and let you guys pick the map. Okay?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for having us too. So yeah. There you go. That was Roxy Lande, and now it is Cakes' time to pick a map into this upcoming second half of the New Wave Invitational. So Billy, so from what we learned from Cakes, from Miss Roxy Lande, well, what can you really say about this matchup so far?
Well, they gotta adjust to the play style of Memecord, where Memecord likes go like you never know what the Memecords do. Like the first map they went for that dive run and gun play style. Well, in the second map they went for that you dive into us and we will just kill you style of playing. So yeah, they gotta expect the unexpected when it comes to
Wow.
Memecord's play style.
It's exactly the words that I was thinking for you to say. But speaking of playstyle, there's one more thing we need to note coming into this upcoming game. So Memecord versus Cakes, and that is the support line, which has made a pretty big difference. Now Speed Fry looking really good, honestly, on this game. Doing such a good job with getting those coalescences, having a 9.2k average healing department. On his other side, on his other half, it's Eamon looking pretty stable, and he does have around 7.5k on the average healing department. He has recently picked up the Ana, but so far
His
for
nades are
Team
on point
Memecord,
though.
yeah, the thing about Meme Court is their nades are on points, and it seems like the Sinji is really on point so far. They're getting the sustain on compared to Team Cakes, where I feel like that's really the department they need to work on because and for X Fatalist as well, it's not Stereo playing the sport right now as it's Alexid who's in because this was the initial conception of their roster. But keep an eye on X Fatalist. Well, there have been some really good clutch plays here and there from Fatalist, especially those eye fields during the defense of Team
Oh
Cakes.
yeah, his eye fields are great too. Like the first the first point of the second map was all ex Fatalist with this good lamps to make sure that his team survives.
Yeah, he's at the 7.8k, so he does have that sustain. And he had a really good time healing on their last match. So they need to keep that one up. And they need to find those opportunities to get the top up one because it's absolutely essential for them to survive in a matchup like this. But hey, it is going to be Meme Court versus Cakes looking to still stay on. And we have gotten our confirmation for map number 3, and it is Route 66. So Route 66 having a lot of open skies for that Echo. That's pretty much she came from in terms of the cinematic. And what do you think? Is this going to be a good pick here for the Cake Squadron?
Yeah, I think playing an Echo would be good because you'll always know that Narborough will always be playing that Reinhardt, and one of the best, if not the best target to duplicate it being that Reinhardt to get that two shatters in one duplicate dream of as an Echo player. So yeah, and I'd really like to see Olexid play that Ana instead of that Pocket Mercy, which Echo really does not need because we've seen that Blackbeard can get picks all on his own, and that having that Mercy Pocket's kind of overkill. Like he really does not need that extra damage other than shield destroying Narborough's shield every single time.
Yeah, the sticky bombs is getting the blow up on, but then you can just stick it onto the hull of the Reinhardt instead. We've seen that on Lijiang Tower, but hey, let's get into Route 66. And I do want to discuss with you again the contention point that we have had for such a long time. As soon as the Echo came out, this is something we have been talking about, is that the Pocket Mercy on the Echo. I and Billy are on the camp that the Echo does not need the Pocket. It is the Sky Tracer flying on in. And well, in Overwatch League, you didn't see the Pocket Mercy, but not for the right reasons because she was banned. That was a big issue there. So I really can't wait to see what next week has in store for us because there are a lot of lovers of the Pocket Echo. It makes a lot of sense on paper. She's flying, you're flying. She needs a top up to survive because she's a glass cannon. You can really sustain on. But in speed, absolutely kills. But the Mercy getting put in places that you don't really expect. And for us, for me personally, my opinion is you put the Echo where the Tracer is, and you don't want the Mercy to be ever there. To be in a spot like that. Like, sure, you can fly around, but at the same time, well, if you are in a spot of trouble, it is gonna be very, very dangerous. But I feel like if it is about a matter of synergy, and you play the Echo as well as the Mercy, it's not just about playing Pharah Mercy where you play slow and steady and you keep safe. You really dive on in, run and gun, and it has to be the Mercy to survive in many situations where I feel that players are just unable to really work on. It'd be better for them to play the Ana instead, or maybe even the Brig Ana, which is something we do see. You can go for the top up with the repair packs, go for the snipes, the Brig Batiste can work out as well in a few situations here and there. But hey, so far actually in the Overwatch League, the composition of choice has been the Echo and the Ashe due to those hero bans, and I'm really, I'm really interested to see what it really will be as soon as things do normalize. But hey, Memecord now with the dive into this one. It's a classic dive yet again with the Mercy and the Moira instead, and we have talked about this before about them, that when they play the Mercy Moira with the dive, it feels just a lot slower, a lot more sluggish, and it is costing them a little more as they lose immediately that tank line into the front lines.
Yeah, like I think now after the second half, the support picks between the two teams have switched, where now you see the synergy of the supports are on Cake's side, and the Memecord now not having as much synergy as they could be having compared to the last two maps.
But oh my
But
god,
if it works, it works.
Makes an opening, gets things to go. And I feel like for Team Memecord, it's a good execution on dive at the start. They lose their members, but the big deciding factor is Evan is allowed to get that resurrection on. With the res on back, Narborough is back into the fold, gets a little bit more space created for Akashi and Walkhead, and well, that's the show. Somi coming, surviving as well, able to get things done with the self-destruct even, and Memecord just getting value with their picks and their ultimates. So far so good. Ability usage is on points here for Memecord, even though we don't really agree with this composition because this is pretty much the hole that they fall into sometimes with the Mercy Moira. But hey, it's an escort map fight. They can look to sustain.
What a great pick though.
And the good pick off there from Walkhead gets in behind. Blackbeard will go down. Diana right now on the staircase, and Narborough really putting on the pressure. Can X-Fatal survive? Gets a Sleep Dark on. Might want to go for the frag. Roxy Lalonda with the shatter, taking care of Walkhead on the floor. But this is just Team Cakes unable to get the punish. This is just a Mercy, the signature hero of many members on the Memecord roster, really getting things done, and it's just such good synergy with the One-Wing Angel.
See, I think that the reason why they chose the Mercy is because they know that every time they play dive, one of them dies. But they always win the fight. But they always wins up with one of them dying. So I think like they're trying to compensate that by playing the Mercy, and they believe that since Akashi and Walk are playing the Genji Tracer, don't really need healing, and if they really need healing, they just walk towards their Moira.
That's true, and here comes the one that needs healing the most. Akashi whips out the blade, takes care of two immediately. Memecord on an absolute warpath so far, and it is such a snowball here, Mr. Billy. You can really even say that Memecord is playing above and beyond their skill level, because besides Somi, none of these players above Master so far are really doing such a good job, and Somi is the one who has a really high ramp on support, not off tank. So it's very impressive here from Memecord because they are playing beyond our expectations with a roster like this.
Yeah, it's just Narborough and Somi have extremely good synergy. Like every time Narborough would dive, dive,
dive and dive, and let me just hold that thought as Shiver gets the Nano Blade on. It's time for an easy win here for Cakes. They do play their win condition to a pretty good degree. Blackbeard even finishing off Akashi at the tail end. So for Cakes, finally going to be stemming that cloud. But yes, as they were saying, the dive combination here between Narborough and Somi working out because they do have Emma in behind. And Somi basically being that Mercy player, really keeping everyone sustained on. Beautiful bubble play there from Narborough, leaping to save the day as well. And here from Memecord, they have the Coalescence. This is going to be a good contest onto the corner. Here comes the beam already, Mr. Billy. Narborough, though, bargaining on up, off the primary to try and survive, but needs to sustain. It's not going to happen. Blackbeard with a steady hand, but they still need to respect that being Resurrection yet again. Safely done by Memecord, and space is always created for the Mercy. That is something to note here for the Memecord squadron.
So yeah, this is what we're talking about. Like every time they dive, always only one player dies, and I think that the reason why they pick the Mercy is they'll just res that player up and then just win the fight. Because every time I've noticed with their dives is they always lose one to the dive, but they always win. They win their team fight by sacrificing one, and having that Mercy gives them the res potential.
There you go, and that is just gonna be a clean sweep there from Memecord. What a push! What a way to end things. Bomb on the payload, Akashi with the blade, and that is gonna be enough for them to take the full cap here and now. Impressive efforts here from Memecord. They are looking for their second match win, and this might be the one here versus Team Cakes. But Cakes right now looking for a little bit of that comeback potential. So far in the series, it has been very close, but now it is a whole different ball game. Memecord with almost triple the kills there on Team Cakes. Keep an eye out on Somi, honestly, really bring up the front with the damage potential. The Diva has done so much work, and Somi, an absolute pleasure to see on that off tank, really working out to such a good degree. On the other side of the coin, Shiver is doing some really good potency here and there, having 4k on that damage, but something to note has to be those kills. He only has 2 final blows there, and then the sustain here for Cakes just not being enough because they lose Fatalist as well as Aloxid in many situations where they couldn't afford it.
Yeah, I think that the way Wok and Akashi have been playing is very great because they know not to overextend because of their healer composition. They let the Moira completely focus on the tanks, so that's what's keeping Narbral and Somi alive. And every time Narbral would die, Somi would just defense matrix Eman because him being a Mercy main and all, he knows that the Mercy always wants to res that main tank, and he just defense matrix, allowing that Mercy to get that free res off.
I feel like here from Memecord, Mr. Billy, that they are not only punishing Mercy Resurrections, but they are the ones really playing the Mercy Res game strong.
It.
Yeah, they're the ones who can start it. They know that many teams here in the New Wave Invitationals really struggle to punish the res, and since they do have such a good know-how onto the hero itself with their members, so to note guys, M1's Free Fry and Somi are all Mercy mains here and now, and honestly, if you
great
see... Huge nade though, but and it forces out the I feel, but honestly, if you see some of the other members playing the support, they also usually play Mercy. Calamitas, who's a ban right now, loves to play that Mercy just for the memes and the dreams. Kashi can play a Mercy as well, Narvel can play a Mercy as well, but this time, it's Team Cakes right now, having no Mercy whatsoever, and a team full of Mercy players on the other side. They are just able to overrun the opposition with some really good plays. That is a huge nade there from Fatalist, and this is exactly what we were talking about, the Ana difference here, and Team Cakes making such a big splash on its first point.
Yeah, that initial Ana. Oh, that's another big nade though. But yeah, the Ana nades are making a huge difference for Team Cakes because Memecord has no way to stop it. Somi needs to really pay attention to those nades and not allow them to go through. He needs to start, eating them. Like, look at that nade. He catches both Akashi and Somi.
Yeah, those nades absolutely huge, but Akashi able to survive. Blackbeard was trying to go for a few snipes here and there, but Stereo instead mopping the floor off the opposition. And a little bit of a C9 there from Memecord. They forget about it. 0.01 becomes 0. And this is Memecord having to fall. Cakes right now gets the first point basically for free after them stepping off the objective.
Yeah, in the now playing the double hit scan. If you play double hit scan, the one with the Widowmaker usually wins because the Widow has pretty much unlimited range and that one hit kill potential. And if you want the Ashe to work, you gotta give Ashe the Mercy pocket.
Damage
but now you see Wok playing the Widow mirror.
I believe I was playing the Widow also earlier on, or I might be mistaken, but I did see
It was a while ago.
There was a snipe-on-snipe action as Shiver right now, playing the McCree onto that second floor. Might be a potential here with Stereo, letting them grab the Surge rip. And Sweeper has been very on point with the eye fields, but it just seems like it's not enough. There's no one really capitalizing on the rest of the utility, and playing the Batiste just to not die, I think isn't the best way to go about things. There are just so many other things you can do. Just keep the sustain on, keep people alive. And this is where the Ana might be able to come on in. Maybe we might see a Moira as well, as it did have some really good potency earlier on. But the Casher right now being sneaky, Cyber Ninja trying to get on away. Big nade again here from Fatalist. Even though it's a 1v1 instance, Akashi has to back on that. And Sweetfry moves over to the Moira instead.
I also kind of like to see instead of the Moira, I'd rather Sweetfire play the Brig because right now they keep brawling. And the Brig, this is what Brigs dream, 100% brawl. Like right now, look, like the Rhines are always swinging the hammers, you rarely see them bring up the shield, only when the fight's pretty much over. But this is pretty much what the Brig wants, the brawl, when everyone's just fighting CQC.
I also feel like onto the third point as well as this choke on the second, it is gonna make a big sense. Now the Moira can go for the top up pretty close as Cakes is just demolishing everyone else. It really is just one by one here from Memecord. They're stalling for time, trying to drain that time back. But back to my point, playing that Brig here instead of Moira will allow them to really contest in really close quarters. Onto the corner, onto the behind the truck, and really put up a pretty solid fights in the first place. But Blackbeard right now trying to go for a few snipes here and there. Akashi gets in his face. Seems like there are a few latency issues in order here for Team Cakes, and they do need a pause, so we'll give it to them. Blade in hand, D-Shatter as well, grab the surge. Memecord having a few tools in their arsenal to try and hold the line. But the nade again! Fatalist, man! Where is this Ana? Where did this Ana come from, actually? And Fatalist getting a few things here and there, but they have to be able to grab the surge, as well as the shatter, as well as the blade. Big shatter, though, from Roxy on there, but Akashi doesn't care, gets in behind, gets the snipes on with the blade, and taking care of the sniper as well. The fight isn't over yet, though. The Reinhardts of Roxy surviving just a little bit more. Eventually, Memecord with a cleanup. Akashi able to make a play here for the defense.
Yeah, this is what I was talking about. Like, Cakes really did that Ana play, and Fatalist is delivering to an extraordinary degree. Like, his nades, I haven't seen his nade miss one time.
Yeah, on this round, that's
This
for sure.
this whole round.
It's doing great so far, but Emma now gonna look for the mirror, and Emma versus Fatalist on some name action. But the Banana Boost is online alongside the grab as well as that Deadeye. Coalesces the frequency front has been such a big game changer, and it seems like that grab doesn't matter. But as I say that, Shiver with a Deadeye able to get through Roxy and London, Nana boosted up as well, and Shiver has gotten the casualties on the other side. Good show here from Shiver, absolutely fragging out. 5 on the board here for Shiver so far, and he's really finding those frags
this man
into this one. This is gonna be a potential ace here and now, but it doesn't get the wards here in Overwatch. Shatter right now connecting onto him. Roxy with that pin, but the fire grenade is on point already. Focus card gonna be absolutely essential, and oh my god, Alex gets the res on back. The raid boss is here and looking to sustain those peacemaker shots. This is a Shiver show, and we are just watching it. Kick so still into the front line. They need to reinforce their lines with Roxy and London going over to that wrecking ball instead. Bucket though finally cashing out the McCree, and seems like Memecord gonna be able to slow things down for just a bit.
Yeah, Memecord really needed to win that fight to stop the snowball of Cakes, because Cakes was doing so well in that start of that third point where Shiver just popping off there with that 5k, and you know the Fatalist with those big nades as well. Like they really need to stop that snowball.
He's woken on up, man, and he is ready to go. It seems like here and now, build an igloo, because we are going to be in for a cold threat at the egg. He gets the prediction onto the flashbang, but he didn't expect actually him to get that hit. Both on that to the floor. Akashi going to get one with that blade, and make that 2. 3 frags on the board here now from Memecord. They go to the high ground, take care of Blackbeard as well. What a push there from Memecord. They find the opportunities yet again. They make an opening with a pretty explosive pulse bomb to start things off.
Yeah, now they're playing to their comfort. They're all playing that, you know, that dive Winston Genji Tracer comp, wherein they just want to get in their faces, and you know, if the Ana wants to heal, no, we'll just be in your face. If you want to nade, you're gonna have to nade yourself. So now they're really trying to lessen the value of that Ana nade.
I feel like they're very comfortable, but here comes the bomb in behind. Roxy gets that shield shattered, but still a chance here for Cakes. They can go for the push. They have a whole minute on in. Somi though with a bully onto Stereo. The Zarya unable to survive against that Diva. But oh no, Somi getting clocked by the conveyor belts here and there. Narbrawl not popping the primal rage. And is this gonna be the dive V competition? No, there's no mercy whatsoever. So really need to be careful with that. The resurrection on the board. They can't play into these empty straights because Blackbeard is on that Widowmaker. It's now time for Memecord to hightail it out of here and hide into the corners to make sure they have a single fight left into this one. But Billy right now, it is gonna be here for Team Cakes. A penultimate push, last chance, last effort, here and now between the attack and the defense. And we start things off with the ground surge after the buy grenade. Deadeye in behind, too ambitious from Shiver, but Buddy Blaster gonna be able to get that kill. Baby Diva getting the frag. Primal Rage is here and now, and a big deal here has to be Akashi getting that blade. Can he survive though? And we're gonna be coming on over. Overtime not ticking on down. Chapter connects only onto Walk and coalesces here from Sweet Fry as
almost has the
well.
blade.
And the pulse bomb connecting! That is gonna be damage onto the two tanks. Can Memecord mop the floor against the front line? That's what the blade is for. Roxy being sustained by the Ana. Faithful is trying to get on the way. Both sides unsure of who to actually go on. The front line getting kills here for Team Cakes. And there we go, Resurrection. Never mind. And Kashi dashing the hopes with the Swift Strike yet again. And here comes the bully. The only one left gonna be Stereo as well as Shiver. And a bomb in behind might catch out the Tracer here, forcing out the Blink. But Stereo still able to get the frag on. It's very, very close here and now, but Cakes is running out of members. And that should be enough. Memecord will be able to hold. Does it even matter? Still gonna be a map 4. Guys, still a map 4s. But hey, that's a victory there for Memecord, taking that match win.
Yeah, Memecord did extremely well on that third point. They managed to recover from the snowball of Cakes and just stabilize their ults and their abilities and use them properly. As well as switching comps to that dive, which they're very much comfortable playing.
They have shown that they can really play that dive, as Cake's gonna be unfortunately having to fix up a few of their VPN issues with their latency really hurting them in the end. But that was a lot of good potential there for Cakes. Highly unfortunate that it did turn into something like that. And again, if you guys can ask for a pause if ever, but we do have to be in acceptable time banks. And if you do have issues like this, well, sometimes you can only do it in the mid-match rating. But hey, Memecord with a 3-0 right now, Billy. And what do you think allowed them to take this match win overall?
I think it was, them actually changing their support line into a much comfortable pick instead of playing that Baptiste, because I don't think Baptiste is a comfort pick for Swiftfry. I've hardly ever seen him play Swiftfry, even if it was quick play. I think like they just clicked the Baptiste just so they could synergize with the double hit scan comp that they were running.
And yeah, Matrix wasn't really used to any good degrees. And for Memecord, they did play a little more comfort again, sticking with that Mercy for a lot. But when the going got tough and Cakes got even tougher, especially Fatalist, and when swapping over to the Ana, make a pretty big difference. I really didn't see too many Nano Boost play those from Memecord, but eventually they were just able to eke it out. There were instances here and there, but it seems like the sync just wasn't there after a pretty awkward swap, so Memecord might want to work on that in the future. But something to note, Somi and Waked doing a pretty exceptional job on the roles that they have been given. Somi doing so well on the Otsec, Waked doing so well on the DPS. And is it time to permabench Calamitous for this roster, man?
I think so, because every time Calamitous enters the fray, if he doesn't perform well, he'll just say lag. And yeah, latency is always an issue, especially in the PA scene, especially with RNet. But hey, PLDC or these converge, it doesn't matter what you are, it doesn't matter where you when you are, your internet is gonna die sometime in the week. But hey, let's look at those maps real quick, as we are gonna be waiting on for map number 4, which will be that assault type. Lijiang Tower, Hollywood, and Route 66 all taken by Memecord already, but there's still a chance for Roxy Lolande and the rest of her crew to actually take a map back, because maps really do matter here in the New Wave Invitationals. We do the map differential as our initial basis of the standings, so it does make a very, very key note to begin with in a situation like this season. Every map counts, every match matters, and every single time that you are able to take a victory for your team, well, it does make a big difference. Yeah, but I like the way Cakes adjusted to Memecord's playstyle, where Fatalist really went above and beyond for his team, playing that Ana, getting those huge nades. But I think like he could change the way he uses his nano more efficiently, rather than just throwing it on the Reinhardt every single time. Because I think if he gave that to like Blackbeard or Shiver on that DPS, wherein they can actually do a lot more damage than they could be doing.
That's true. Like, we saw Shiver actually frag out like crazy after the Deadeye, getting that 5k there. And the thing to note again has to be Fatalist. I feel like the best thing he can do right now for his team is stay on that Ana. We've seen a lot of these teams get better because of them playing the Ana over something like Mercy Moira. Having that utility having the Bio Grenade makes such a big difference, especially against teams that only want to play that Mercy Moira. And well, if you can't heal, what do your Mercy Moira really do? That's the real question, right, Mr. Billy?
Yeah, that because all the Mercy can do is just damage, and Moira's just there to suck.
Suck and heal bot. It's a heal bot and a half, but it seems like we are finally ready to go for our fourth map. Memecord, moving up the standings with a 2-2. Cakes with a 1-1 right now, tying things up in the mid range. Pretty much the expected standings so far in the New Wave Invitationals. But hey, we still got a map, Mr. Billy, and let's get into Volskaya Industries. We have seen some really great games on Volskaya overall in the PH scene, and this might be no different, that's for sure. Volskaya Industries, map number 4 out of 4. After this one, we are done for the day, as we will not have our second match, and it is moved on tomorrow. We'll be showing you guys the next schedule for tomorrow, as that is a special day for the New Wave Invitationals, because that is our first third day broadcast. But hey, the second day out of 3 tomorrow, the first day out of 3 today. Let's get into the fourth out of 4th map into Volskaya Industries we go.
Yeah, I want what? Okay. All right. I'd kind of like to see the same lineups that Cakes have been running in Route 66, honestly, because that comp really suited their play style, wherein Shiver just dinks everyone on that McCree, and Roxy on that commanding Reinhardt, and X-Fatalist on that godly Ana with those godly nades. And I hope Memecord can just go back to the way they've been playing in maps 1 and 2, wherein they play with their standard comfort picks rather than trying to try a comp wherein they're not very comfortable playing yet.
That's true, that's true. I feel like for Memecord, now they can afford to go for the experimentation, but it is not the case here, Mr. Billy. They're back onto their basics, they're back on the dive, and they are going to be looking to just jump on the opposition. It's really interesting to see that Memecord is really whipping out this dive comp to such a good degree. You don't see dive well executed, especially on the more average ranks, but on the other side of the coin, well, it's Cakes going for the Orisa and the Hog, and that whole hook is a good way to stop a little slower on the trigger finger in terms of the dive. There you go. That is just Stereo getting catches on. Wakado with the frag in behind, but overall it's only Wak getting stuff done here from Memecord. Wakad moving on around, will finally get hooked up. The Roadhog here from Stereo, absolutely a pleasure to hear. And it seems like the Team Cakes there are going to be able to hold the line with a very, very strong composition looking to stop the opposition in their tracks.
Yeah, I don't think Somi expected that much damage to just pump into him. I mean, the Hog and the Reaper shotguns just obliterated his mech instantly the minute he tried to walk in. I didn't think he had time to react and use his Matrix in time.
Yeah, Scrap Gun and Shotgun doing a lot of damage, and the EM can last long, but not long enough in an instance like this. Now we do see Cake staying on the left-hand side, a little bit of some swap action here and there as Memecord goes over to the Ryan Zarya instead. Sticking out the
nade again though.
I like this comp right now. They are going to go for double Shimadas. They can still rely on that blade. But Stereo is looking nigh unstoppable. And for Cakes, what a good defense on the low ground. It seems like they're playing CQC to the best degree. It is going to be a 5-star affair here from Cakes so far on Volskaya Industries. And it's first class here and now. The first production, no second line here and now. As Cakes is looking to really work these foundries.
So yeah, this comp is actually very good to counter the Memecord run and gun play style, wherein they just, they get free picks honestly with that Hog full hook combo, because not only do you have to be careful of that Hog shotgun, you have that Reaper shotgun as well.
That's true, that's true. Just bringing them into the fold. Such a good way to really shut them down. And speaking of the shutdown, here comes a Shiver with that net loss of yet again a Akashi right now with the blade. 2 frags on the board here from Memecord, but they are really struggling to get things done. Eventually though, they get rid of Blackbeard. Still the position though for Cakes with the Orisa and the Roadhog. They do have the sustain as well. And Stereo can be a one-man army in the right instances and the right times. This Roadhog looking nigh unstoppable. Stereo is destroying everyone. And good protection there from Roxy as well as Alexi, keeping the sustain on. Memecord really struggling against this Roadhog pick.
Yeah, they're having trouble shutting down this Hog, because every time they go for the Hog, Rox is just there with that shield, and if not, he'd fortify and just stay in front of Stereo's face and protect him from all the damage coming in.
True, and so very true. But hey, in a situation like this for Team Cakes, they are staying on the left-hand side again. But a good rotation here for Memecord. They clear through the objective. They clear through the scrap gun damage. They get the push on, but they need to really take care of business. Fire grenade again. Fatalist. The fire grenade got himself, forcing the sand barrier a little early here for Memecord. But right here, right now, it's time for the death loss of Muppet unable to survive Nano Boost play. And it seems like Fatalist has heard us in this matchup. He gets a Nano Boost onto the Reaper. Perfect timing, perfect place, and just such a big need again. Cakes able to shut down Memecord one more time, and we finally see some swaps here now from Memecord. They go over to the far
I like
Mercy.
this auto pick. I like this auto pick.
They still need to be careful though, really need to be careful, as Blackbeard is ready with a Deadeye. 1 point up in the sky on those ultimates. Just so free here for Blackbeard to begin with, but Far Mercy making it rain, and Memecord gonna get the push on.
Yeah, Blackbeard's positioning is very good. Like, you can keep an eye out for the Far Mercy, get possibly a free Deadeye if Farah flies too high above the point.
Exactly.
But then, look at that bump out damage.
This is just Cakes shutting Memecord down. And where was this Cakes team? Overtime not ticking on down. And statistically, you know, Memecord has really struggled on the last map. They lost out to Overwine in a very close affair. This time is an absolute wash. And again, this is when we realize that Memecord, even though they're looking good so far through the past 2 matches, there is still a reason why they're only 2-2 right now based on the match score. There is still a reason why we feel like they can still do better. Because they have performances like this where everything just looks so lost. And well, even though they did take a match win, they still want to get that clean sweep if they do want to really rise up the standings. Losing maps like this does hurt them. I feel like the only time they really clutched it out was against washed up homies, where they were able to just outclass the Symmetra play. But hey, for Memecord, now they do have to go for the full hold just to draw things out. And, you know, Cakes in a really good spot to actually take this one again.
And look, if you look at the score, like the kills, Cakes have pretty much more than triple the kills of Memecord, even though Memecord has superior damage, because Cakes is doing a very good job cleaning up their damage, whereas Memecord, every time they deal damage, it just gets healed up by the Fatalist nade, because every time he gets a nade, he not only gives the 50% healing boost to his teammates, but also anti-nades the Memecord for diving them.
It's ridiculous actually. Fatalist only has 4k healing, and Alexine has 9.3k because of those healing nades really amplifying it. The Moira are doing such a good job. But the big thing to note is look at Roxy as well as Stereo. 5k and 4.9k on the damage taken. The last stat guys on our scoreboard is the hit points that they have taken, the damage that they have taken in the first place. It's 5k and 6.6k. My bad there. And the healing taken is 5.1 and 5k as they go for the teleporter play on the left side. Classic stuff here on Volskaya. But yeah, the support line as well as the tank line doing such a good job here for Team Cakes. And well, Stereo is able to heal himself, that's for sure. And it really goes to show he can face roll and face stamp everything and anything he wants in the first place. Memecord though, playing onto the point already, they weren't able to anticipate the teleport, so they are going to be brawling on the objective. Very dire straits here from Memecord. They lose one already. Shiver with a takedown onto Akashi. And for Cakes, it might have been an issue of what if they are going to do this well in the first place. Where was this performance from Team Cakes from the past 3 maps? Big nade from Fatalist. He has woken it up and he has found his spirit animal here in the New Wave Invitationals. And this is now Team Cakes finishing up this match with a victory on their boots. There you go. That's our 4-map set. Victory goes over to Memecord with a 3-1 on the match, but Cakes gets back with a 1-0 to command Volskaya Industries.
Yeah, I feel like the second half was all ex-Fatalist's Ana play. Like, his nades were, look at that nade. He has 3. Like, even if they were Lucio boosted, they didn't have enough HP even when the Lucio boost ran out.
I also think that the targets for the nade and everything, you don't have echo to 10 points. It's just exactly. What was I saying? Oh yeah, the nano boost targets from Fatalist on that last one, giving it to Shiver, I think is the best way to go. Because Shiver has really that potential to frag out like crazy, to really just...
He shut down walks that
destroy
Blossom
everything.
face to face.
It's like, it doesn't care. I have lifesteal, I have damage reduction. I am good to go, and that is the Shiver Show right there. And then, as we are gonna be looking to get our post match on, I wonder who's it gonna be from the meme card side, as we do need to talk with them a few things here and there. But hey, that's a victory there for Team Cakes. Overall, a victory for meme card. But what do you think, Billy? Throughout this series, what were some defining factors in for both teams?
Well, Memecord have been the Memecord's performance has only been going up throughout this invitational, whereas Cakes, it took them a while, but they finally adjusted their hero picks to counter the aggressive playstyle of Memecord. But I kind of wish that they started doing that before the second half, whereas they could have actually put up a very good fight against Memecord if only X Fatalist played that Ana much earlier.
That's true. I feel like X Fatalist on the Ana was such a big game changer. And it enables Shiver to do so much. It gives space to Blackbeard. And I feel like if Team Cakes watches this VOD and sees how good Fatalist really is on that Ana, they would love to stick on that more. Because they just get dominated on Lijiang and Hollywood. And on Route 66, it got a lot closer. Meme card also, it does show that their dive, even though it looks impressive on the scale of the New Wave Invitationals, it still needs a lot of cleanup. And as you don't want to play the dive V composition, honestly. If you want to execute the dive well, you don't really want to be forcing those trades, or you don't want to be banking on the res. You want to be banking on your abilities to survive as much as possible. You want to be looking to keep things up on your front line without that res. And hey, Phil, it still worked out for Meme Card because they clutched it out to such a good degree with some proper swaps and proper timings on Route 66, but that got him in favor of Cakes, honestly. Could have gone either way on that second half. And after the halftime break, it seems like Cakes woke up and really showed their stuff into this matchup. For Beepguard, again, a little more polish will help them out into the future. It really, really depends on how much they are going to work if they do want to do well in the New Wave Invitationals. Because if they keep up just half and half performance, half-ass performance, honestly, they are going to get outclassed by teams who do work against them. Honestly, losing to Overwine a map like that is a big blow already early from last week, and losing to Cakes on Volskaya on that scale are some things they do need to look back into. And they have to realize that where are they going wrong, and if they do want to put in that effort, they will be able to go a long way. But hey, we'll be moving into our interview real soon. We'll be right back, ladies and gentlemen. This was an impressive win to Memecord nonetheless, especially on the initial half of this match. And well, Cake's putting up a really good fight at the end. Stick around though, we'll be interviewing Memecord in just a bit, and we'll be releasing our schedule for tomorrow as well. So welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and we have Narbral and Walken on Beamcord. So two people on interview this time gonna be coming on in our post-match segment. But before we talk to these fine gentlemen, we just want to show you our schedule for tomorrow. So usually the new Invitationals is scheduled on Tuesday and Thursday, but tomorrow we do need to have a makeup session for a few of our teams that are lagging behind in the standings. Who are really trying to catch up, as we did start the season without our full 8 teams. So we were able to build on a few results here and there that did count, of course, because we already had everything set up. Everything was going on. Teams were joining midway until we got our 8. So here we go. We are going to be looking to do some makeup sessions here and there over the course of the month to make sure that everyone is able to play against each other at least once. So at the end, we're making sure that every team has gotten 7 games under their belts, 7 matches under their belts to really keep our standings as clean cut as well as accurate as possible. But here we go, guys. For tomorrow, we are gonna see the return of Ube Server, gonna be facing off against Watch into that one. And our match for today, our second match supposedly for today of Washed Up Homies versus Overbex, has been moved to tomorrow due to unforeseen circumstances on both Washed Up Homies sides, as well as Overbex not really wanting to go really late into the night. So that's acceptable since we already have something set on up, and we get our double header tomorrow instead of today. But hey, let's go back to Memecord versus Cakes, and let's go into Mr. Narbral and Wucket. How you guys doing? Why are you guys 2 this time? We usually get 1, but hey, it is what it is. And how you guys doing tonight?
Go.
Eh, Niyaya ko si Wak sa ano, dahil dapat siya talaga eh. Kasi unfair siya na yung last week eh.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's true. You can't sacrifice. You can't sacrifice someone all the time. They can only have
True,
one person
true.
as a tribute at one point. They can only join one Hunger Game, basically. Which is funny because on the side of Cakes, they're just sacrificing Roxy all the time. But hey, Mr. Riz here, Mr. Aris, Mr. Narbril Gamma, the captain of Memecord, and Walken, the newest addition who has been doing such a great job, really flexing on in and being subject to the best copy pasta I've ever seen on Discord. How you guys doing tonight? So yun nga, let's talk about your match first and foremost. How does it feel to take another win? Congratulations, from 0 to 2 to 2 to 2. How does it feel to actually take another match under your belt?
Okay. Narberal, your answer, ano?
Expect namin Shanghai Dragon Season 1 kami na 0-4. So medyo masaya na kasi nanalo na kami ng 2 games.
Yeah, just like congratulations, 2 to 2 right now. Again, we're saying you guys aren't Shanghai, but you're more like Dallas Fuel instead. And it does go to show you do have a little of that star power showing up today. So speaking of star power, you guys did ban out Calamitous in your bans, your weight-based ban, and he kept Somi in, but very surprisingly, he's not playing the support. He plays on the off-tank, moving Bucket to DPS, allowing Fry to stay on support. So what gives? What's that all about?
Nagpa-practice si Somi recently sa nag-ano siya. Nag-go off tank siya sa Smurf games niya. So parang napag-practice din siya in a way along with si Wak.
Oh, chemistry indeed. And how about Mr. Walk? How's it feel to be back on
Yup.
DPS? How does it feel to whip out that tracer and just zip on around as much as possible?
Well, for the first 2 maps, ang sarap. Kasi I got some kills. Minsan, nakikita ako sa board. Pero for the last 2 maps, the third and fourth, medyo wala akong ginawa. So that's sad. Pero it's still, very exciting sa part ko. Because, I think the meme card is utilizing the fullest of my abilities. Kaya I'm very happy doon.
Great addition to your roster. And well, speaking of additions here for Team Meme Core, you guys are playing rosters that we have been talking about, that you guys have been improving on from last week. And one of it was the dive comp. So you guys are playing dive here in New Wave Invitationals more so than many others in the whole season. And what makes you guys want to play dive in the first place?
Well, kasi obviously, dive is our best composition to use right now. Natural yung pagda-dive namin. Umabot sa point na wala na nagsha-shot call, which is obviously a problem, pero pero ayun, it's still a very good asset to have as a team.
It's a very big surprise. How about you, Mr. Narbrawl? You're the main tank right now. What do you feel about the dive compared to you playing the Reinhardt? And we'll be building on that in just a bit. But yeah, just playing that Winston right now for the dive. How does it feel compared to playing the Ryan? And how does it feel? How does it change your team dynamic?
Anong mostly na naglalaro pa ako ng Overwatch kasi last year, I think, or 2017.
That's a long
Parang
time ago.
sobrang record kasi nung Winston dive nun. Tapos parang, natripan ko na din, kahit mas favorite ko si Reinhardt laruin.
Oh,
Parang mas nakapapagana siya in a way na mag-comms lang kayo. Hindi katulad sa death ball comp na kailangan nyo i-ano yung mga skills nyo.
that's true. You find a target and you're able to focus fire on it. But you guys did play the Rhine Diva as well, which is a very good flexible approach for certain maps like Hollywood. Swapping over to the Reinhardt was a very good choice on that third point, giving you something a little more stable. But speaking of Hollywood and then speaking of Route 66, you guys changed how you play dive, honestly, between those two maps from a dive composition that was more standard to a very weird dive composition as termed by Mr. Billy here, who's very creative apparently. Big Brain Billy. Is he still alive?
Yes,
Yes,
what?
yes, he's still alive. So yeah, the Divey composition where you basically sacrifice you or Somi, or they sacrifice both of you as Somi bunny blasts her way back to a mech. But yeah, you die, you get rezzed, and you guys go again. What made you guys play the Mercy on the dive compared to more on a more standard approach there on the first half, where you guys were more sustained, where you guys were more able to play into the utility? What made you go to something like Mercy Moira for Route 66?
Ay, kasi, yung more on comfort pick kasi siya ni Eman, and pang gusto din niya laruin yung Mercy. So pang, sige, umuha na lang kami. Alam naman namin yung alam naman namin yung cons ng Mercy mo Iwan ako. Tapos in a way, parang nakatulong din sa amin yung kasi nga, yung hindi naman planado yung mamamatay kami dapat or pang i-sacrifice yung
You
sarili.
guys made it work though.
I thought you guys were like the Aztecs,
fault ko
man.
na yun as a player. So, yun
What
nga.
was the sacrifice?
Napapagana namin yung pagka-dive pag may namatay na best. Pero kung hindi lang siguro masyado na punish.
Bro, it's like they put you on the ritual table and then they just slice you up and then they stuff you back together. It's kind of nasty, that's for sure. But you guys did swap over to the on third point and you were able to hold. But what changed compared to the first half and the second half? Seeing how Cakes performed, what do you think? Were you guys able to just eke it out by like, phew, that was really close, or was it just more of like it could have been better from you guys? Like, what do you think could have been done a little better on that second half, especially after a pretty subpar fourth map compared to the first and second maps that you guys had?
Siguro mix ng both. So yung fourth map talaga pa ibang team na yung kalaban namin. Sobrang coordinated nila. Kasi ang ganda nung nila, yung ult economy nila. So yung papasok kami, may ult sila tapos kami wala. So in a way, fault na din namin na we could have done better din dapat. So
Yes,
yun, nag-show up din sila ng fourth map sa bang galing nila.
Yeah, big kudos there to Cakes. And you know that Roadhog, you guys trying to shoot him, but it just didn't happen, just wouldn't die, and the halt hook might be something you might need to work on into the future. But overall, a good performance, especially on that first half, a clutch performance on Route 66, and I guess we don't talk about Volskaya. The funny thing about Memecord, guys, is it's either they win all the maps besides the fourth one, or they lose all the maps except the fourth one. So they started their win train against Washed Up and Homies, winning Temple of Anubis, and they had a 1-3 scoreline, and then it was 3-1 against Wine, and now it's 3-1 against Cake. So you know that fourth map, I guess it's also the sacrifice. It's the die part of the die V of the four maps there on Assault. And what makes you guys so much of a X factor on Assault on 2CP? What do you guys understand about it? What do you guys not understand? What do you feel like hurts you sometimes in a map type like that?
Yung unang-una yung comms, nawala talaga yung comms namin by that time na fourth map. And di namin masyado na understand yung mga jokes, yung mga high grounds. I think di lang talaga namin napapractice as a team yung mga 2CP.
That's fair. That's fair because it's the map type that is at the very last, but it's very important, of course, that you guys, if you are put to the test and you are put down to the wire, you might need to fix things up on that regard. But hey, a win is a win, and another win on the board there for Team Memecord. Very well done. Now I do have a question for you guys, and this roster looking really, really good, especially with a few flexes here and there on the side of Somi as well as Mr. Walken himself. Is it time? Is it time to actually call it quits on one of your DPSs and go for the perma bench on that little weight based band that we got rid of? What do you guys think? What do you guys think of that?
Narp, go.
Should be permaban ba?
Just be honest. What do you guys think? This is your
You're the
time.
captain.
This-
Kaya mo yan.
Sa ngayon,
Is it time
hindi
to bench
namin sure.
Calamitus?
Make the decision.
Oh my god, you guys have such a hard answer off stream, but then when you put onto the mics like, hi, I'm shy. I don't want to say anything bad. Come on, be honest. What can we say?
Ayaw muna namin mag-permaban sa ngayon. Required ba? Hindi naman required.
No. We're just putting you guys on the spot to make some spice into this injury. But hey,
Okay.
overall, I would say that your roster is finally getting well-rounded. That's for sure. Like, no jokes
That's
aside,
good to know.
and everything. Walk at the big addition, Sweet Fry big addition. Sight is still there as well to help things out. And seeing Slowme this flexible might allow your one ban games to be a lot more stable, because I like this here from you guys. It's basically, if you keep Somi, you get either support or attack. If you beat Kalam, you get a really strong DPS. So it really depends on who your matchup is going to be, where you guys need to win out in that regard, and it will really allow you guys to be the most flexible kind of team to begin with. So yeah, kudos to Memecord on that, having a pretty well-oiled machine with their full roster. Now, let's move into, for you guys, anyone you guys want to shout out, any guys want to talk about before we head on out in this broadcast?
Actually, may pwede ako shoutout. Shoutout dun
Nako.
sa Cakes because I've been screaming with them as well as Somi. Nakikita ko yung games nila and nakikita ko yung improvements nila. So, I made friends with them na din. So, yeah, GG's to them. Maganda yung performance nila, especially dun sa fourth map. So, ayun.
Kudos indeed to
How
Team
about you?
Cakes. They have woken
Mr.
on up in the
Narberal?
second half. How about you, Mr. Narberal? Indeed, the floor is all yours. This is your shining star moment. Now let's make it count. Your star, Mr. Narberal. Who you got shout out?
Shoutout po sa
Sa...
sa internet ni Calamitus.
There you go.
No,
There
no.
you
Kay
go.
Calamitus, hindi nakakapaglabulok internet. Nice.
There you go.
Pang
There you go.
pang nawala yung star player namin, na-bench kumbaga pang na-bench yung LeBron James. Shoutout sa lahat ng players sa new wave.
Whoa.
You're making the game alive again.
I mean, at least we got you guys back for a pretty fun run, that's for sure. And how about you, Mr. Billy? Anything you want to ask them before we head on that? Anything you want to say to them actually on the Memecord side?
Not really, other than, yes, I support the permabench Calamitus movement.
Hindi pwede. Hindi star player namin.
Yeah, but when your
Masas
star
kami ng 2
player breaks,
million to buy the contract from MMK.
the problem with your star player is when he plays, it's the ping that he's up against, not the team.
Not the team.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Man versus himself.
That's true. It's you have those stories, guys, and usually here at the New Wave Invitationals, as Darryl said, it's man versus man. But when Calamus is on the board, it's like he has to look at himself. He puts a mirror in front of the monitor. He doesn't even see what's going on in the monitor. He just stares at himself and says, "Are we gonna have good ping today? Are we gonna have a proper
RNG.
setup today? Is it gonna be a good time for me today?" And that is the realest question of them all. It's not about the RNG of the game of anything else, it's the RNG of life that hurts Mr. Calamitus. And hey, if we do see him on the board, it's gonna be a fun time, that's for sure. But Memecord has showed up, ladies and gentlemen, and they are back into the fold. So we'll just show that standing sheet real quick. As yeah, there you go. Second place right now for Memecord. Really climbed the chart
Nice.
all the way from 7th, going up to the top, just behind, of course, the juggernauts that are Wam and Nagi. And yeah, in the first of the maps, they did take 3 of the maps, but it got closer and closer. 2-0 on Lijiang, then 3-1 on Hollywood, then 3-2 on Route 66 before getting shut out on Volskaya Industries. But hey, as Bucket said, a win is a win, and this is pretty much what Memecord really needs into this one. Getting those matches under the belt, getting a few notches here and there. And thank you, Narpel and Bucket for coming on. And any final comments you guys want to say before you head on out?
Thank you, Mr. Daks, for setting this tournament up, or mini screen,
Yes.
for keeping the Overwatch scene alive.
Thank you guys for
True,
joining, that's for
true.
sure. Thank you guys for joining. It was funny, it was like, you guys want to play Overwatch? And I was like, but then, hey, why don't we make something for Overwatch? And then I'm like, this is fine, honestly, this is a lot better. We can meme it up, but also try hard at the same time. As we said, guys, it is, I think this is pretty much a tagline, casual but competitive. Just we wanna chill out, enjoy Overwatch, but at the same time, give these players, give the teams, give these stacks, honestly, a place to play in, and just a place to be as comfortable as possible. And this is the New Wave Invitationals. Thank you to Narbel and Wakid for hopping on, and thank you to Billy for again saving the day on the casting table, because a certain someone is asleep again. So second shout out to Mr. Fastnate, dead in the water yet again. I hope he's enjoying his Korean Valorant experience. But this has been the New Wave Invitationals. I've been Daks, he's been Billy, they've been Narbrel and Wakhead. And you guys are gonna be looking to tune on. And remember, there is a set tomorrow. So on May 6th and on May 7th, we are gonna have some matches. We have 5 matches for you guys this week. So stay tuned tomorrow. There is no Overrush PH bugs because the New Wave Invitationals do need to take precedent for this time. And on Thursday as well, we'll have another set of teams. But it has been an absolute blast to play as well as to watch and commentate here in the New Wave Invitationals. And we'll see you guys very, very soon for our next broadcast. It's me signing on off for the rest of the New Wave Invitational staff. And we'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.